Hello my friends, today is a fun episode, and I know I say that every week, but today specifically, we're going to be talking about a guide to building kitchen concrete countertops. Should you do it as a beginner, and what's involved? For budget-friendly home improvement advice where we help you save more so that you can do more in your home, make sure you hit that bell and subscribe today so that you don't miss out on a single episode. First, today is totally about concrete countertops, and I really wanted to dig in deep about what it takes to do concrete countertops in your home. If you have never before looked at concrete countertops, I have in the link below put an entire board together on Pinterest about the different possibilities that you can do with concrete. Before 3 years ago, I didn't even know you could do your own concrete countertops. I didn't even know you could DIY countertops, period. So this was a fun kind of trip down project lane in order to figure out. So again, we're gonna talk about the skills that you need and the different things that are involved in creating your kitchen concrete countertops, and is this a project for you? Okay, so I have 5 things that I'm going to talk about today. First, the skills that are involved in doing kitchen concrete countertops. The second, the tools that are involved. The third, the creative process of picking the color and the design. And then 4, being a project manager over the entire project since you are going to start from scratch. And then the 5th thing is why it's a money saver, or how much you can save if you do kitchen concrete countertops. So let's get started with number 1. So I started out the segment by asking, is this a beginner DIY project? And in my opinion, no, it's not. Not to say that if you're not brave and you have some spare time and spare muscle that you can't do it. I just think that for this one, there are some skill sets needed, such as making sure things are level, because nobody wants a wonky countertop when you create it. 2 is just knowing the different types of tools that are involved. You want to be familiar with drills and with saws and with the different tools that are involved with this project. 3, the labor intensive that it is. You start maybe on a smaller project so that you can have some DIY success before you jump into this. Now, the only disclaimer that I'll say is if you're doing a small island or like an auxiliary type of kitchen, then yeah, actually playing around with this project, maybe I could go back on and say, yeah, it could be for a beginner or not. But for the whole kitchen and your like newly designed kitchen, this maybe is not the project for you to start with. As I was doing that last video segment, my husband did want to make sure that we said that we had never done a DIY concrete countertop before we did our main kitchen. That being said, we had done countless DIY projects. So I want to make sure that I don't discourage you that if you've never done a concrete countertop that you would avoid doing concrete countertops. What I'm saying is that if you have no previous DIY project skills or knowledge, such as power tools or just basic DIY projects, doing a concrete countertop should maybe not be your first dive into the DIY world. We have other videos that I can click to right here that would be great starts before or to rev you up in order to do this if this is something that you want in your wheelhouse for the future. So as you're doing your research on concrete countertops, which I'm assuming is why you're watching this video, we estimated about 40 hours worth of material before we ever dove in and did it ourselves. And one of the big things that we questioned was, what tools are we going to need? And do the tools, with the price that some of them are, outweigh the benefits of saving money on this DIY project for doing a kitchen countertop? And in the end, the tools did not cost as much as the savings that we got in doing the project. So there are some basic tools. There are some basic power tools that you will need in order to cut your edging. There are some basic power tools that you'll need in order to piece your edgings together. There are some drills and some mixers that we'll talk about in order to be able to mix the concrete, and there's a variety even within that. So we're going to go into more detail, but as far as the tools are concerned, it is there is a balance between the tools that you will need to purchase. Even, and I can go into detail as far as the trowels and the different surface to make this surface smooth that we'll talk about in detail. But that is the tools that you will need for a concrete countertop. So like I said in an earlier video, as far as figuring out if you know you want to use the medium of concrete for your countertops, which to me is endless, you are going to have to do some research or design, or at least have a very clear vision of what you want to do before you ever start. And if you are interested, I'm getting ready to tell you to go into the link below. We go into detail after detail in every single one of these areas in our upcoming course that we're going to do with DIY concrete countertops. So if you are interested in learning more, get on our email list so that you can get in on the early bird specials that we're going to do. We're even going to be doing a webinar, and if people are interested, because we've just found so many people writing in about wanting to do this project but not knowing exactly how and where and what, and we want to hold your hand in doing that. So make sure that you get on our email list below. You can get that in the description below, but we will talk about the creative process as far as designing your concrete countertops. So with every great project that we do, as far as DIY or otherwise, there needs to be a project manager. And that project manager is going to go through start to finish and figure out all the different processes, materials, tools, skill sets, whatever that may be. And we definitely did not know exactly what we were doing when we originally did our concrete countertops. We just kind of winged it by the different research that we've done. Now, my husband and I both are very organized people. So we both had kind of these tasks are his because he's left brain, which meant measuring and buying the materials that we would need so that we didn't have to go out and get concrete in the middle of trying to mix it. And then my skill sets came in to the creative process, making sure the staining and creative and veining and all the different things that came after the pour. So a project manager, at least a project checklist, is something very much that you will need if you're trying to do this kitchen concrete as something in your home. And again, I keep saying this in every one, but make sure you get on our email list if you're considering this, because it's another touch point that we talk about in the course that we offer. We offer numerous PDFs and checklists and videos to help you from point A to point Z as far as getting your concrete countertops done efficiently. As I've mentioned before in other videos, I had no idea the cost saving that we could do by doing a DIY countertop, specifically concrete. That's the area that my husband and I went because we still wanted a traditional looking countertop, much like quartz and granite. And frankly, I wanted marble in my kitchen because I like that design, but I knew that marble was not a material that I should be using in my kitchen. So concrete kind of combined those two things together, but most specifically, it helped with the cost of our kitchen. When you're doing, and again, I have some different videos that I've done as far as what are budgets for kitchen remodels and how much can you expect to spend when you are doing a kitchen remodel. Sometimes people don't sit down and do their budget, and I strongly suggest that. The countertop is a huge price tag in that remodel, but there are some ways that you can save, and that is by doing the concrete countertop. At least that's how we saved. We saved thousands. The price that it cost for us to do our concrete countertop to what was quoted to me for quartz and granite was significant. It was over, I believe it was $3,000 or $4,000 of a savings when it was all done, and that includes buying the tools that we needed and the materials that we needed. The only thing that's not averaged in there was my husband and our time that it took for us to do the project itself. So if you were getting somebody to do this project and you're not doing it as a DIY project, I have found that the price is even more than quartz and granite when I've done some research. So if you're looking to do this as a money-saving technique in your kitchen renovation, going with concrete countertops with you doing the project is absolutely a money saver. So I hope this was beneficial for you. If you are researching or wondering if you have the skill sets or the time or the patience or the desire to do a concrete countertop in your kitchen. We love ours, and I can give you the pros and cons to them. I've done a whole other video on that if you're still on the fence of whether this is a project for you or not, but I hope that you have gotten some benefit from the different things that we've talked about in this video. The next step is to get your free ultimate home improvement guide. This guide is amazing for anybody who's going to be doing a kitchen renovation or a home renovation, because it's going to first help you plan that renovation. 2, it's going to help you budget the different items that you're going to have to purchase in order to get the renovation done. And 3, we chock full of tips and tricks that are going to help you save time or save money or both as you go through our guide. So again, make sure you get your free ultimate home improvement guide, and you can get that in the description below. There's a link.